We continue to follow breaking news out of Rockingham County, where we now know 6 people were hit by a dump truck.
It happened in the area of Church and Carroll Streets in Eden, and the State Highway Patrol now confirms 4 of those victims have died.
We have team coverage on the latest developments, starting with our Sarah Sauer. Sarah, we now know the names of the people killed.
Yeah, that's right. Christine Devante. There were 4 victims that were killed in this crash. Those are Douglas Garland Sides, Madison Carter, William Evans, and Matthew Lockwood. It's important to note that there are a total of 7 victims in this crash. Those 4 victims that died were on the ground and struck by a City of Eden bucket dump truck. That truck was driven by 66-year-old Michael Ray Vernon of Eden. He was driving that crush when it crashed into linemen who were working on the power lines at the intersection of Church Street and Carroll Road. We're standing at the edge of Church Street tonight, and Vernon is charged with a stop sign violation and misdemeanor death by a motor vehicle as of right now. Investigators say that they don't believe that Vernon was impaired when he was driving that city vehicle. There were 2 victims that were also struck on the ground. One victim is in stable condition, and investigators tell us the other one is in critical condition tonight. And one victim was in the bucket of a power truck there at the scene working on those lines, but they have non-life-threatening injuries tonight. We know that this is still very much an ongoing investigation from the North Carolina Highway Patrol, and we're waiting for some more details about exactly what led to this crash. I'm going to pass on to our Kenny Beck for additional team coverage here in Eden tonight. Kenny.
Sarah, thank you very much. We're a little bit farther down Church Road, a little bit closer to the scene. This is a scene that has been scaled back significantly from where we were just a few hours ago when we were live throughout our 4, 5, and 6 o'clock newscast. My photographer and I did walk down a little bit farther down Church in the area of Park not long ago. You can probably see the flashing lights over my right shoulder. Emergency responders stopped us and said, we need you to stop right there, not go any further. Still very, very active back there. Not immediately clear what is going on, but the idea that this is just about complete at this point, far from it. It does look quite a bit different than it looked earlier today. Of course, we've been here for many, many hours now, and at the height of all of this, there were 2 power vehicles that still had their hydraulic arms up in the air. Someone who says they lost a loved one today, a family member, told us at the time, many, many hours ago, before we got the official information from Highway Patrol, that a city truck driver drove basically through those 2 power trucks, right between the 2 of them, and that was where this person struck all of those people who were in between and then continued on into the Park Road area. Again, that's where folks are right now. It has been very difficult, understandably, to get people to speak with us on camera today, especially those who are closely involved in this, and we certainly respect everything that they've been through today and respect their desire for privacy on what has to be the worst day of their lives. We did hear from 2 people who gave us statements that they're comfortable with us sharing with you on television. One is the sister of one of the linemen who is deceased, one of the 4 people whose names Sarah read for us just a little bit ago. She told us he was a lineman who loved the job. Everybody loved him. He was a great, great guy and brother. We also spoke with a man earlier today who was also a lineman here. He was not seriously injured. Incredibly, miraculously, he is still quite shaken up, as you might imagine. In fact, we even heard that he put pressure on the wounds of some of the victims, some of the people who were not as lucky, and was able to give them some sense of relief and assistance until proper emergency response crews could get here and rush them to the hospital where they would receive more extensive treatment. He told me, all we can do is send prayers to the families for the ones that didn't make it and the ones that are pulling through this incident. Again, as Sarah mentioned, still quite a few questions here to be answered tonight, and a scene that remains very active in Eden. More team coverage coming up at the top of the hour on WXII 12 News at 11. We'll